So how can we get more experienced hands involved in politics? Should all candidates have to be a minimum of 40? Or should it all be based on life experience? Give me a call on 0345 6060973, or you can text 84850, or you can tweet at LBC, or you can email larry@lbc.co.uk and join the conversation with me, Larry Lamb, right here on LBC. On the line now is Rebecca Hobson, who's the freelance journalist and contributing editor to LondonLovesBusiness.com. And good afternoon to you, Rebecca.
Good afternoon, Larry.
I mean, could such age qualifications work?
I don't think so, no. I think the last thing we want to do is put any more obstacles in place for people wanting to move into politics. Any age qualifier would undermine the democratic process.
Yeah. There is a limit. I mean, there is an age limit. I mean, I think you've got to be over 21, haven't you?
I think so, yeah. And we already have a House of Commons that's dominated by middle-aged white men. The average age for an MP is 50.
Yeah.
And that's been pretty consistent since World War II. So the idea that our politicians are getting younger isn't really true. Around 12%, I think, of MPs are under the age of 40. So we don't really want to put up any more barriers to prevent people getting into politics. But, you know, I do think Andrew Marr has a very valid point, and we should certainly question the increase in so-called career politicians.
Yeah.
And he's not the first to say this. And people have been talking about this for a long time. The writer and professor Anthony King published a paper in 1981 where he warned about the rise of the career politician. And he argued it would lead to a loss of experience, moderation, detachment and balance in the British political system. But also a rise in politicians developing a private language and having private quarrels between them.
Yeah.
And I think this is really becoming more and more evident. Tony Blair actually touched on it this time last year, where he said in an interview that he would advise any young person thinking of entering politics to work first in a non-political role for a few years. So lots of people are talking about this. Interestingly, Dr. Sarah Wollaston, the Tory MP for Totnes, who's a former GP, she talks a lot about this, and she said recently in the New Statesman that career politicians were like fish in water, and therefore tended to progress through to the higher ministerial ranks more quickly. And I think that's really concerning, the idea that people that go straight from university into politics, they know the ropes, they know the system, they make the right contacts. And that's something we need to look closely at and start questioning.
Yeah, because I feel that this is, as I was just giving my opinion there, I think this is a global malaise. I think this is what's happening. This is what's going on around the world. You know, you want to get into politics, you go to university, you get the right degree, and then you get yourself into the party. You join the political club. It's a politics club. I've been enough around it to realise that's exactly what it is. It is a club, and you're on one side or you're on the other side, but you're in the political club. And to me, that's what's disturbing, that people just do become apparatchiks and with no other experience at all. And it's all blowing up in people's faces right now. So many people call in and want to have a big moan about this, about the lack of confidence they have in these people that are running our lives.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, the makeup of the House of Commons is becoming less and less like us in terms of social background. So when it comes to gender and ethnicity, we're very slowly making changes.
Yeah.
But certainly social backgrounds, we seem to be regressing. Currently, I mean, there used to be around 14% of MPs were former manual workers.
Yeah.
Now it's something like 3.5%. So we're really regressing here. Same with the professions. We used to have around nearly half of MPs used to have a former profession, and now it's around 35%.
Yeah.
So it's something we really need to look at, yeah.
I mean, the point is, though, how can you impose, I mean, do you think you could impose sort of CV make-up regulations on both parties? You know, I mean, how do you do that? You can't do that.
No. I don't think we can't do anything like that. But what we could think about doing is perhaps trying to introduce job sharing, which would be fantastic for women, which would help get more women into politics. So look at possibly an MP's role being shared with two people. We could also look at introducing primary elections, which is how it works in the US, and was how Dr. Sarah Wollaston was elected in 2009 in the by-election. And that's actually letting the constituents vote for the candidate being put forward.
Well,
and that might help.
If you could just, I want to ask you about that, and I'm sure other people, when you've just, when you've pointed that out, if but in theory, then it's open to anybody that wants to put themselves up for say a Tory candidature, and all the interesting.
It isn't. Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, I'm not an expert, but I think in Totnes, I think around 100 people put themselves forward, and then there was
parties?
A much smaller. No, for the Tory candidature.
Right.
And then a small group was selected.
Yeah.
And then I think it was 3 or 4 were then put forward to the people of Totnes to say which one.
Right. So the people of Totnes decided on who they wanted as a candidate.
And they chose Dr. Sarah Wollaston.
Right. Who's a fantastic MP who really has got, and from reading her very, very candid reports on what life has been like for her, has really run full tilt into the realities of a political club, having come from the world of medicine, right?
Exactly. And now she's chair of the Public Health Select Committee. Yeah. That's exactly what we want. We want these sort of people, having significant influence.
Yeah, exactly.
But unfortunately, she's a rarity.
yeah, she is.
Across the board.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you so much for coming on this. Rebecca Hobson, who's a freelance journalist and contributing editor to LondonLovesBusiness.com.